What's up, everybody? This is Lyle No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making some shredded chicken sliders. This recipe was kind of inspired by the most interesting cook on chicken I've ever done in my life. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave a link to that video in the iCard above and description below. It was the most interesting chicken I've ever cooked. It may not have been the best, but it was some pretty good chicken with a very interesting technique. Anyway, with the leftover meat, figured we'd make some sliders. Obviously, making sliders isn't really a difficult process. Hopefully this can serve as some inspiration more than an actual recipe, but we will go through the ingredients that I'm using right now. Now these are the ingredients I'm using in this. Use whatever you'd like. I have some sweet buttery dinner rolls. If you want to spend the extra $1.50, go ahead and get some Hawaiian sweet rolls. That would be even better. I'm using some pickles, tomatoes, black olives. We have the chicken from that interesting chicken cook. And I have some caramelized onions that I just cooked this in a crock pot overnight on low. They come out great. We have a stick of butter. And I have some dried cilantro. I also have the poppy seeds, but I think that the cilantro would go well with this. As far as what we're going to put on top, I have some horseradish. Prepared horseradish, some Dijon mustard, and some Duke's mayonnaise. Anyway, those are our ingredients. Let's get rocking. One ingredient that I forgot to mention earlier is we are going to be using some provolone cheese. Sorry about forgetting that. Now, as far as our sauce goes, I have some butter here, and that is one stick of butter. We're going to hit it with about a tablespoon of mayonnaise. And I'm almost done with this jar of horseradish. Let's just go ahead and finish the rest of this. That's going to be about another tablespoon. And our mustard, which I just got everywhere. And we're going to hit it with these cilantro leaves. And about another tablespoon of those. And I'm not sure I got enough mustard in here the first time. That should do it. And we're just going to mix this up. And this is going to kind of become a little bit thicker, which is kind of what I want. Here's what I did. I took the rolls, cut the bottoms from the tops, and put these in a baking dish. I did kind of separate them because I want some of that stuff that we're going to pour on the top to kind of come in between them. Plus, it'll be easier to separate them into individual portions down the road. Now we're just gonna, I've already got some cheese on part of this. We're just gonna go ahead and finish it up. And I have some gloves on, so we're just gonna get into this with our hands. I'm gonna go ahead and just start spreading this chicken out on top. We're gonna try to keep it as uniform as possible. I think we're good with that. Now I'm going to hit it with our caramelized onions. And if you have a crock pot and you haven't made caramelized onions in it, you've got to give it a try. I mean, it's the time, you know, it takes a while to do it, but it's not like you're sitting there stirring onions around for a bit. So I really like that technique. Now I'm going to go ahead and get our black olives on here. And tomatoes. And these tomatoes aren't going to have a chance to get really baked or hot or anything when they're in here. Or when they're in the oven. All right, let's get some pickles on. These look like they're going to be some filling sliders. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and top it with some cheese. And I'm going to go with 2 layers of cheese on top. Or not necessarily, you know, I'm gonna have them overlapping quite a bit. I'll just throw it on here, it doesn't matter. Boom. Get our butter mixture. It's kind of got a little solidified here, which is what I wanted. Let's get these lids on. Let's see. And these are going to be some big sliders. Okay, now we're just going to kind of pour these on and kind of brush it at the same time. All right, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to throw it in the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to put some foil on top of this and we're going to let it go for about 20-25 minutes. So we're 20 minutes into this. We've been cooking it covered. I'm going to go ahead and pull off our foil and I'm going to let it go 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to check it, make sure it's not getting too browned on the top in 5 minutes. This is what they're looking like coming out of the oven after being in there 5 minutes uncovered. I'm going to let this cool down a little bit, and the reason is I'm going to go ahead and cut these into individual sliders, and I don't want that cheese to just be pulling everything out of the sandwiches. So we're going to give them about 15-20 minutes to sit. All right, so that is a wrap. They look good to me. I'm going to get this shrubbery off of these things that I put on there just to make them look a little bit nicer, and me and Hetty Prince Jr. is going to get into this taste test. So just pull that little cherry out. Actually,
Chicken's nice and tender. The bread's nice and crispy. It's great.
this right here is incredible. I'm telling you. Man, these are better than I thought. No doubt. Anyway, I'm gonna probably pack these up and take them to work for lunches and stuff like that, because old Hetty Prince Jr. is gonna be cooking a little bit of cod tonight for dinner, so he's about to get on that. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.